because I got back into German books, I had to think about this book because a year ago I joined this portal where you can request not ARCs, it's more like reading samples that you get for review. And when I got this book, it's a cookbook, and I felt like a little bit overwhelmed with how am I going to create a good review of a cookbook on my channel, because like an Amazon or Goodreads review isn't enough. That feels authentic, and I was a little bit hesitant about it. So I don't know, I've been sitting on this for a year and not talking about it. I'm doing this a disservice because I asked for this book because I love it. I actually knew that I love it before I asked for it, because I had a book by Cynthia Barcomi, a cookbook, and what I loved about it is I love American cooking. I love American baking. Thanks to the internet, we can access all the recipes that we want. We wouldn't need cookbooks anymore, would we? I do love cookbooks a lot. I just love like full-size pictures that are beautiful like this one. And I just love going through these kind of cookbooks. And let me actually show you what I love to do. These are some of my favorite cookbooks. And as you can see, there's like a lot of post-its in there. I love going through these cookbooks, put a sticky note on everything that I want to try at one point. For example, I do enjoy Jamie Oliver. I think I cooked everything in his 30-minute meals, and I love Famous America, but I think I haven't tried much from this book simply because it always felt like so heavy and I was in a diet mood. There was never the occasion, like the right occasion to actually cook something from this book. So I just went through this and loved everything that I saw, but I never ended up making anything. I do need to change that at one point. As I said, I enjoy when it has like full size, like page size photography and everything. I don't know, Giada, again, full size pictures, but not for every. I do prefer if it's for every recipe. I think I've only tried 2 or 3. I was hoping, because some of her recipes sounded like something that my son would like as well, and it felt like it's a good mix between healthy and something that my son would like, but he didn't, so I got this really cheap. Now my top favorite books that I open up a lot is this one, and my potentially all-time favorite is this one. Again, beautiful images. I love her recipes. There's still a lot that I need to try, but they're really good. What I do regularly from this one is her veggie stock paste that I then freeze and have little portions to use. My all-time favorite book is Isa Does It. This is the most beautifully designed cookbook that I know. Look at this. Look at this beauty. And the recipes are amazing. Honestly, this is the most beautiful that I've seen. I wish every recipe had a full-size picture. Again, in this one we have a few where there's no picture, but it's still beautiful. My all-time favorite recipe from this is, by the way, the tempeh meatballs. I so have to make that again. This is like the best thing ever, but I cannot make this again because I am dying eating this. I think I'm gonna make this if my family comes for like cake again. It's like a strawberry cream bread pudding, and it's so good, but it's so evil. I love cookbooks like this, even though in the times of internet I wouldn't need them because there's amazing recipes online, but I just love going through a cookbook, getting inspired, looking at the amazing food. That's why I need pictures. I'm very visual. And then seeing this and being like, yeah, I'm so gonna make this. I mean, in the end, on my day-to-day, I eat from the meal plan. It's easy to cook, but I love going through these. So what I loved about Cynthia's baking book is that it combines the American cooking with products that are available in Germany. So one of the biggest issues I have with all these is that sometimes they're using ingredients that are not the same in Germany, or that are not as available in Germany. So whereas I can say, okay, we only have spaghetti squash, or we only have kale in these like 2-3 weeks when it's in season, I can wait for that recipe. But one of the biggest things, for example, would be brown sugar, which we just cannot get here. I think you can get it in very, very specialized stores, and it's super expensive. And you can only get it around Christmas season again, because it's just being used for a very specific recipe here in Germany. You can get sugar color that looks brown, but it doesn't have the intense like flavor that brown sugar adds. Whenever I cooked things from these cookbooks, sometimes it happened that it just did not taste the same. It just didn't have that same taste and feel that I wanted. When I got the first baking book from Cynthia, I made one of her muffins and I was floored. It was so amazingly good. The thing that I remembered is that Cynthia figured out how to replace some of these ingredients that aren't available here and how to incorporate it properly. She just had cinnamon rolls. So I made these cinnamon rolls and they turned out amazingly. And one of the genius things is to use a syrup that you only get in Germany and combine it with normal sugar, and you get the same intensity as a different portion size of brown sugar. And it's very, very hard to get the same the ratio right if you are not experienced. There were a few things that she opened my eyes to. Well, that sounds a little bit weird, but there were a few things that I was like, yes, the muffins are actually not cupcakes. I feel like in Germany, most people, when they're making muffins, they make cupcakes and they don't rise as much and they are not as fluffy. And she just figured it out how to translate the recipes from her American recipes into what's available in Germany. And I loved it for that. I loved it so much that I was raving about her baking book to a colleague of mine so much that she wanted to borrow it, and she borrowed it and never gave it back. So when I saw that this was available for request, I was like, yes, give it to me. And then I wanted to bake everything in here and I just never did because of my journey with like food. But I think it's time. It's really time to go and try and bake one of these. The thing is, it's baking, and who's gonna eat it? I don't know. But like a chocolate walnut pie, that sounds right. Chocolate espresso cheesecake, that is so the right thing for me. Pumpkin cheesecake, yes, 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 yes. I need to make a pumpkin cheesecake. It is pumpkin time banana cheesecake. I know that this book gets 5 out of 5 stars because I've had it before. I've tried things in here before and I just wanted to rave about it. I actually wanted just to rave about it and have a reason why I need to rave about it. But honestly, this is so good. It just sucks that it's all baking and chocolate and all the amazing stuff that I can't have. I'll see if I can find a reason to bake. Maybe not this week, maybe not next week, but I'm going to put this in my visual field on a day-to-day basis again so I can start baking. If you are not on a food journey, if you're living in Germany and you ever wanted to recreate these American amazing things like cinnamon rolls, cheesecake, muffins, I don't know, I can just recommend this book so much. Try it. It's delicious. Fresh out of the shower, it's mail time. We have 2 packages and I assume that these might be from the publisher that I talked about, where I have requested 2 review samples. I was accepted for both. That actually would be super awesome. I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. It's a Sanderson. I just have to review a Sanderson. I mean, come on. It's the 5th one in the Stormlight Chronicles, which I have a bit to go to get to, but thank you. That's awesome. And the second one, I think, is a cookbook, which I'm quite excited about. As I mentioned before, I love cookbooks. 2 new cookbooks this week. But yes, it is. So it is Tasty Cookbook. I love these little tasty videos. Let's take a closer look. We have 1 pot. We have slow cookers. We have 5 ingredients or less. That is an awesome one. 20 minutes. Better than delivery. Without cooking bowls to go. And desserts. Very promising. I love a cookbook with good pictures. Enchilada rice. I'm gonna make the enchilada rice, I think. Oh, interesting. 4 different ways to serve it. What does the star mean? There's like this little star next to some recipes. Over half of the recipes have been developed completely new for this book. So the star means that these recipes have been developed just for this book. If that's the case, why don't you put pictures of them in here? So we have these 2 pot pies, and then we have 1 picture of a pot pie. I don't know which one it is. Probably the fish one because it has carrots in it and the other recipe doesn't have carrots. So I don't like that we have a picture, we don't know what's in the picture, and we don't have a picture for everything. Rotisserie chicken potato curry, no image. Salsiccia from the oven, that looks good. Good image. If all the pages were designed like this, I would love it, but I don't like the other ones. And that's nice as well. Some like process images. I think I prefer this style in most cases, although honestly I don't know if I would have needed this. I might make this. It's a French chili with red wine, bacon, and spaghetti with lemon and shrimp. Not for me. Creamy pasta with chicken and broccoli. That sounds good. I could make that. And we have slow cooker. The first one has variances again. It's a Tuscan white bean soup. Tuscan, it looks nice. And then it has 4 ways of eating it. So add to the Tuscan soup chicken or pasta or bread or Parmesan cheese. Chili with pork, chicken tikka masala, no pictures, spare ribs Asian style with an image, tacos with an image, hot pumpkin soup with an image, like a brisket, no image, another soup image, chicken rice stews. I have a feeling that these are made for the US market because they're using an Instant Pot, and the Instant Pot isn't really that widely used in Germany. So I'm not sure if these recipes are the right way to go in Germany. In Germany, the Thermomix is much more widely used, and I don't know if this type of device would have made sense for the German market to see if they can replicate these recipes for the Thermomix. But I don't know a lot of people having something like an Instant Pot at home in Germany. I do. Most people I don't think do. So it looks like, so they tell you to make salmon, and then you can either serve it with broccoli or with rice or with a salad. That actually is a variety to chop it up and put it into sushi, but I think it's a little bit far-fetched. Mac and cheese. Interesting. Mac and cheese without mac. You shouldn't call it mac and cheese. It's pretty much mac and cheese where the pasta is replaced with cauliflower. Probably an interesting recipe, but you shouldn't call it mac and cheese. Sweet potato with chicken filling. That's a good recipe. I like that. Ravioli lasagna. Ravioli with cheese filling. I haven't seen those easily accessible in Germany. So this pretty says to use the ravioli, put tomato sauce on it, put mozzarella on it, and then bake it. Do this like twice and then bake it. So it's like a ravioli lasagna. I'm wondering how far the taste is from having ravioli from a tin can, put it into an oven dish, put some mozzarella on top and just bake it, which could be nice, but not necessarily something that I would want a recipe for. Salsa Hähnchen. So it's like a salsa chicken with avocado, rice puff. That actually looks kind of good. So far I'm quite underwhelmed, to be honest. 20-minute meal zucchini. This is a good recipe. I think that half the recipes are just chicken sweet sour. Juicy Lucy burger. I don't think anybody in Germany would know what a Juicy Lucy is. Do you guys know what a Juicy Lucy is? I always wanted to eat one. Maybe I'll just have to make one. Spring roll, that's a good recipe. That's a nice recipe. It's a margarita on French bread. Ooh, crunch wrap. For like half the recipes there's no image, but then this has these like prep images and then a full 2 pages images. Honestly, I don't think that in the past I've heard the excuse that they don't put full images because of the printing of colored pages. So in the past when you have a cookbook and it's just printed black and white, and then you have a couple of pages that are printed in color that then have the images. But here, this is already full color print, and you have used 2 images for a recipe that already had images. So I don't think that there's an excuse. And also I feel like it has like changed a bit. For me nowadays, images are a must. A recipe for a simple salad with beans, corn, bell pepper. There's nothing. Honestly, these salads are so underwhelming. It's without cooking. And they come up with a lame salad, like 4 different ways of doing an avocado toast. And these salads are super boring. Different types of rice. Okay, I can see that. Mexican tempeh salad. That is something different. But they're selling it as a bowl. Okay. Pita salad. Honestly, are you serious? Look, you have the colorful veggie salad and then the pita salad, which differs so little. Moroccan tagine bowl. How is that a bowl? Italian bowl. When is something considered a bowl? Like, at what point can you consider it a bowl? On the go. Frittata sandwiches. Pita with chicken salad. Rotisserie chicken. No, it's like turkey leftover sandwich. Just add some salad and cheese, stirred cream or something. Honestly, if you cannot do this without a recipe, I feel sorry for you. This is a true recipe for on the go. Like, make hot pockets yourself, kind of. This wrap with tomato and chickpea. That's a recipe. Roasted steak cheddar sandwich, so like a grilled cheese. Actually looks good. Moroccan tuna baguette. I think that's a good recipe. Fruit salads. Melon and mint. As a sauce, use maple syrup. Tropical with pineapple and orange and mango and red berry with berries. Cocos chia pudding. Yeah, that's a recipe that I will allow. Trail mix. Frozen yogurt cups. That's an interesting recipe. Banana ice cream sandwich. That's an interesting recipe, especially because a lot of people don't know about an ice cream yet. Brownies, energy balls. I was so pumped because when I see these tasty videos, I think that sometimes they have so many like smart, fun ideas. I already mentioned I am not happy about the way it is set up. There's no nutrition on it, which is okay. Not every cookbook needs to have nutrition information, but I prefer if a cookbook does have either nutrition information or it is following a certain diet where nutrition information is invalid or they don't want you to focus on it. I think I had a cookbook concentrating on making sure you have healthy fats with every meal, portion control without counting calories, or these kind of things. So in these cases, I do understand no nutrition, but don't see why they don't add nutrition information. Most of these are for 4 people or some families, which is a good target group. I think that most of these recipes are probably something that the whole family can enjoy, is quite child safe, which is good. Some recipes are amazing and they're set up in a way that I would expect from a cookbook, especially if it's known for, I mean, Tasty is known for visuals, for having images, for not having necessarily nicely set up images. They have these videos, right? These are quick and easy, which is good, but half of these I feel like you should be able to make without a recipe, or that just don't feel like they should be in here. And some recipes look awesome, so I'm a little bit torn about this. I think that there's a few recipes that I want to take a closer look at and try out, and then I probably would want to give this away. This is not a cookbook that I would want to keep because it doesn't feel like there's enough in here. Honestly, the image on the front promises me something that actually looks quite promising, and it's kind of disappointing. I think I'm going to give it 3 out of 5 stars. I haven't tried any of the recipes. I might try the mac and cheese that is doing using cauliflower because I like cauliflower. There's a few recipes that I might try, but I have a feeling that most of these are going to feel quite heavy and I might not be able to eat much of it, but I am going to give it a try. Yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed, to be honest. I was hoping for more. Another thing that I am a little bit annoyed by is that this is confusing. So there's one chapter that says on your table in 20 minutes, right? But then it promises for the whole book that these are quick. With Tasty, you will create genius dishes easily in 20 minutes. So why do they have a chapter that says in 20 minutes? How long do the other recipes take? And then in the introduction in here, they are saying easy, not much is needed, real cooking for every day, 77 recipes with a full schedule, things that you can just have on here easily. Even if you are already well with how to handle a kitchen, so if you're a small cook or just want to widen your repertoire, or if you're completely new to cooking, you will find something. I would disagree. I think that this is mostly targeted at people who are more to the new side of cooking. I don't think that there's a lot of recipes in here for people who have had a lot of interest in cooking in the past. Because it is giving such a big emphasis on that it's supposed to be quick and convenient, why don't you add how long it will take for this to cook? Why aren't you telling me? The ingredients do so far look very accessible. I think the only thing that I do think is good is that mostly the ingredients seem to be rather simple and not like overly creative. There's a few recipes where you would potentially have to go into a specialty shop, but if you are doing something like Asian or something, then you might have to expect to get like one ingredient. It might be nice for beginners, but I think that it's marketed a little bit iffy. So I'm giving it 3 out of 5 stars, I guess. But I will try a few recipes.
Just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm loving this moment. Can we stay here together? If I could stop the time.